Hello everyone, my name's Evan Jacobs. Welcome to another edition of Boxing Time TV. We have a very interesting fight. It was recently made. It's happening on June 5th, and it is going to be taking place between George Kambosos and Devin Haney in Australia. This is a mega fight, a big fight. It's going to be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, the whole gambit. Let's just get right to it. Odds are even on this fight. George Kambosos 28, Devin Haney's 23. Kambosos is I have him. I want to say I thought that I had his height. You know what? I'm gonna go back real quick, and yeah, his height actually is. Hold on, let's change this. It's he's 5'9". Yeah, I was gonna say that seemed too tall. They're both lightweights, 135. Haney 68 reach. No, I'm sorry, Kambosos 68 reach. Haney a 71 reach, and 20 fights, 0 losses for George Kambosos. Devin Haney, 27 fights, 0 losses. Let's just get right to this. And yeah, this is super duper exciting. Oh, I didn't change any of this stuff. This fight's scheduled for 12 rounds, 3-minute round, 10-point must scoring system, no mandatory 8 count, 3 knockdown rule waived. Okay, let's get right to it. Hopefully what these guys do in the ring is going to be way better. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. I need to fix this. New fight. Man, I am just not prepared for this right now, and that is not fair to you, the viewers. Fight mode, simulation, so you guys can see it. Okay, now you're going to see it. These guys are going to come out, and I got to be honest, I think Devin Haney wins this. Ultimately, I just think skill-wise, he's maybe a cut above George Kambosos, to take nothing away from Kambosos. What he did against Teofimo Lopez was amazing. And I would love to see him do very well against Devin Haney. I like both fighters. I just think Devin Haney has that certain X factor. I don't think his chin's as bad as everyone says. And I think that even if it is, George Kambosos doesn't have the sort of devastating power that is going to stop Devin Haney or hurt Devin Haney in that way. And I also think that, you know, Devin Haney is going to be really up for this fight, because he wins this fight, then he's the guy in the division. He'll probably be fighting Lomachenko, who was supposed to take this fight, but due to the very unfortunate circumstances happening in Lomachenko's country of the Ukraine, Lomachenko felt that, hey, you know, I need to be where my country is. You know, I need to be doing that, and just like Alexander Usyk, and the Klitschko brothers and all those guys are bravery beyond measure, given this needless, senseless war that in no way needed to happen. And hey, you know what? I mean, we could all get into this because, you know, I'm American, and there's been, you know, wars in America where that's happened, and we've done things. I'm sorry, not wars in America, but wars that we've participated in and initiated that maybe didn't need to happen. So anyway, barring all that, I think we're going to see a great fight. This fight sort of has a little bit of Taylor Chavez. But I just think that Devin Haney is going to, it's almost going to be like what Shakur Stevenson did against Jamel Herring. And I don't know that he's going to stop him, but I think that this is going to be a close fight. I think it's, you know, at least to start, but I think ultimately Devin Haney is going to pull this out. If you want to see a really interesting fight, see the Devin Haney-Ryan Garcia fight that I did. That was one of the more interesting fights I've ever done. I don't know that I've ever done a fight that was that close all the way through on the scorecards. And so, anyway, should be very interesting at the very least. And these guys right now, they're throwing a lot of punches. They've come out. They've come to fight. And who knows, maybe this round is even. But George Kambosos is going to the body, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to slow Devin Haney down. He wants a slow movement. He wants to get Devin Haney right where he wants him, and he wants to trade a lot and, you know, have a high punch output. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be an enjoyable fight, and it's going to be, you know, the kind of fight that, you know, that we all enjoy seeing. Yeah. So, you know, good first round. I think it's even. We'll see what the judges say. All right, one judge giving it to Kambosos, another judge giving it to Kambosos, one judge having it even. So George Kambosos, starting off this fight, He is currently ahead of Devin Haney. Lands a lead right hand. Haney coming out with the left. And these guys are going to, hey, they are going to test each other. They're going to push one another. And, George Kambosos fighting like a man possessed. And I think Kambosos is a very, very good fighter. I think he's a, very, very strong fighter. I don't know. I think Devin Haney, with his skills, movement, all that stuff, it's going to cause some problems that maybe Teofimo Lopez did not employ. And anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Boxing Time TV. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, and follow. Please share these links with your family and friends. These are just fun, enjoyable fights that, I like doing, and I figure rather than give you the conjecture and all that stuff, why not actually show you a fight, a simulation based on their matchups? Right there, Kambosos landing, based on their matchups, and I do my best, and I do my best to at least I do my best to put the bouts together. What happens behind the mic, as many of you probably are already seeing, is fairly sloppy, and it just that's just sort of how things go. And yeah, that's just sort of my modus operandi. I do my best, and I'm telling you, I like what I'm seeing Kambosos do now. He's creating openings where he's whacking Haney to the body, has Haney coming forward, and he's countering him. And I don't know that this is the best game plan for Devin Haney. And right now, Kambosos is doing very, very well, keeping distance, landing, getting in and out with his shots, and seems to have Haney a little bit confused at present. Although, this is something, Haney, a schooled fighter, I'm sure is going to try and do everything he can to figure something out. Oh, and Haney landing on him as we're in the final minute. Oh, and look at Kambosos, 2 body shots. He's hoping he can bank those. Wants those to pay dividends late in the fight, because I think that's what his plan is that later in the fight, he probably knows he's going to be a bit tired, and if he can slow Devin Haney down, that's going to make the job ahead of him that much better. And right now, Haney is unloading, landing shots, and it was we're seeing 2 of the best fighters in the world compete, and I mean, how can we not get a great fight out of this? I give Devin Haney credit, fighting compact. He's taking some shots in this round. This round, I think, is even more even than the last. We'll see what the judges say. I'm sorry, Kambosos. That's what I was talking about. So, one judge giving it to Kambosos, another judge giving it to Kambosos, and another judge giving it to Kambosos. So, Devin Haney down by 5 points. We're going into the second round. This is a 10-round fight now. Every round counts. Every minute counts. Every second counts. We're going to see what these 2 very evenly matched fighters are able to do here. We know that George Kambosos, when the light's shining on him into having a big moment, he can pull it off. And right there, though, Devin Haney, now countering him as Kambosos trying to come in, and Kambosos is stuffing him. And George Kambosos wants to go to the body, wants to get back into his rhythm. Devin Haney kind of taking him out of that right now. Look at that uppercut from Devin Haney. He knows maybe he fought those first 2 rounds the wrong way, but look at Kambosos. He's saying, look, I'm not going to give you anything. You're not just going to jump back into this fight. We have a lot of simulated fights coming up. Next, I'm going to be doing Kovalev, Tervel Pulev. Then I should be doing Benavidez, Lemieux. Then Beterbiev, Smith. And then I'm going to do Charlo, Sulecki. And then Magsagayao, Vargas. And I was going to do Casimiro, Butler, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. And then there's talk of Munguia Jacobs. So I have that on my list. And, as more fights come up and whatnot, I'm going to, just be doing my best to throw fights in and, kind of give you as many as I possibly can. I would love to do one of these every day, or, 2 or 3 of these a week. It just, time and everything like that just doesn't always allow for it. So I do my best with the time that I have, and I at least try to do 1 a week. And we have a lot of good fights coming up, and I'm hoping to get all the summer fights in there so that as we get closer to summer, or as the bouts get closer, we can just sort of push those And right now, Kambosos fighting well from a distance, and that's the one thing. He's shown that he can fight going backwards. He's shown he can fight well from a distance. Coming forward, though, oh wow! And then you have Haney landing hard on him. But that's the one thing about George Kambosos. When he gets hit, he hits back. And these two guys are fighting hard. They are both landing. Right now, I think Devin Haney's probably winning this round. He needs to keep this up, and George Kambosos needs to. Oh, and like I was just about to say, he needs to go to the body, and right there took. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, and Kambosos trying to get it there at the end. We'll see. Did he even it up with that sort of late round, with that late round rally? 9 rounds left to go here in this contest, and oh, another judge giving it to Kambosos. Another judge giving it to Kambosos. Man, Devin Haney, even on one judge's score. So Devin Haney now down by 7 points, folks, and we're reaching a point where it's going to come down to being, it's now a 9-round fight, and it's still anybody's fight. But the longer that Devin Haney keeps kind of giving these rounds away, it's going to be a problem. And if I'm George Kambosos, I continue to go to the body. I continue to figure this out. Haney's cracking him right now. That's the thing, is that it's not sustained. Oh, and Devin Haney coming. Is he coming on now? Is he coming on? Is he going to make a mistake? Is he going to potentially try to go for this a little bit too much? Devin Haney continuing to want to go to the body. I'm sorry, George Kambosos continuing to want to go to the body. Oh, and Kambosos going to the body now. Landing hard against Devin Haney, who I think has controlled this round. That's just the thing. And I mean, right now he is tattooing. Devin Haney is determined to get on the scoreboard here. He can't know what the score is here, but George Kambosos has to know it. And if I'm George Kambosos, he needs to do those things to start upsetting Haney's rhythm again. Going to the body, landing those shots from a distance. Because Devin Haney right now, George Kambosos has built up a lead by 7 points, but Devin Haney's working his way back into this fight at the as we're in the final minute of the 4th round. Oh, and Kambosos trying to come on at the end, just like he's been doing, and we'll see. But Devin Haney has tattooed him in this round. Devin Haney fighting from a distance, landing hard shots, willing those shots to land. And right there, Devin Haney taking it on 2 of the judges' scorecards. One of the judges having it even, saying that they're both tired. Right now, there's no time to be tired. This is 8 more rounds. Devin Haney coming out now and landing. He's down by 5 points, and he's doing everything he can. Look at that. He is coming out and tagging George Kambosos. Kambosos losing his footing, it seemed to be, but then he lands shots, and these guys are going for it, folks. And this is becoming a Pier 6 brawl. Who would have ever thought that Devin Haney would have to be applying the pressure and doing that? You would have thought it was Kambosos. But Kambosos' game is countering, and he's going to want to continue to go to the body, which he's trying to do. But, oh, man, Devin Haney is a marksman out there. Looks terrific as George Kambosos is doing everything he can to stay live in this contest. Oh, look at George Kambosos. He's coming forward now. And that's the thing is Devin Haney is doing this thing where he's able to bust him up. And now he's able to land. But now George Kambosos is punching Devin Haney into the ropes. And just how tired is Devin Haney? Look at this. George Kambosos going for it now. Trying to, you know, just to sort of quell this mid-round surge or by Devin Haney. And if he can do it, he's going to put himself in a good position to just sort of take these rounds because Devin Haney needs to be more active. He doesn't want to be fighting on the ropes like this unless he's looking to counter possibly. And right there he does. He counters off the ropes as George Kambosos looking for ways to sort of maintain his lead and, you know, all right, that was interesting. There was an ambulance. And now look at this. Haney coming back. George Kambosos tried to. And Haney coming back now. Folks, I'm telling you, I don't know how that it gets much evener than this. But Devin Haney's trying, folks. And George Kambosos now landing, throwing shots. And, I mean, again, I think that this was an even round. Both guys are coming on. Hey, they're saying that Haney's tired. Kambosos has a cut. One judge giving it to Haney. One judge giving it to Kambosos. Another judge having it even. Folks, George Kambosos holding his 5-point lead as we move into the 6th round. Can he maintain it? Can he do it? We'll have to see. He's fighting, backing up now. He wants to counter Devin Haney, it seems. Now is not the time for George Kambosos to slow down. He could potentially be giving this fight away to Devin Haney. And Haney cracking him from long range. And George Kambosos, folks, he's got to do more than this. We got 7 more rounds. The fight is really, really close. And George Kambosos is going to find himself his margin cut down considerably if he loses this round. And he was doing so well at first. And look at that. You know, both guys are throwing a lot of punches. I mean, if Haney's tired, he's certainly not showing it. If I'm George Kambosos, I crack him to the body. I make him... Oh, and look at that, though. But that's the thing, is that, you know, it's not like Haney's really landing on Kambosos. But the problem is that Kambosos isn't being busy enough. Folks, we have a wonderful fight shaping up here where it looks like Devin Haney might be having a mid-round surge to even things up, which will make the final rounds just that much more interesting. And both guys landing, both guys throwing a lot of shots. And Oh, and look at George Kambosos headshot and body shot. I'm telling you, he's going to want to do more of that. He's going to need to put that into the bank if he's going to slow down Devin Haney, slow down the punches. And that's the thing is, George Kambosos isn't having to, I read something, there was a news piece, George Kambosos saying that he thought Haney was going to run from him. He hasn't had to look for Haney all night. Haney's been right there. Once again, folks, you are watching Boxing Time TV. If you like what you're seeing, and how can you not, please like, comment, and follow. Please share these links with your family and friends. We just thank you for tuning in. I'm always getting excited when I see a really good boxing match, and I always say when two fighters get to sort of employ their styles, we get a great fight. That's what we're seeing right now. This has got everything. It's tactical, it's brutal, it's got a little bit of blood, and right now, I'm telling you, I think George Kambosos is being really sneaky, and I don't know that he's winning this round, but he's still in this fight. He's landing, he's touching Haney, and that is keeping him in this fight. And I think what's giving it to Haney right now is his punch output. The computer said that he was tired, but folks, I am not seeing it. All right, so now we have 6 more rounds. And they're saying that Kambosos is bleeding out of the nose. One judge is saying Haney's obviously tired. All 3 judges give that round to Haney. One judge by 10-8. So now it's a 1-point fight for George Kambosos Jr., folks. And he's got 6 more rounds. Is Devin Haney coming on? Is he going to be able to pull this off? Is he too tired? Is George Kambosos playing possum? Is he extending Devin Haney? We'll have to see. This is now a 6-round fight. It's going to be tactical, and we're going to know within a round or two if Haney is coming on or if George Kambosos is just gearing up for the last part of this. And I'm telling you, George Kambosos, once again, going against the ropes, high guard, not letting his hands go as much as he should. And right now, Devin Haney is taking control of this fight. Oh, and punching Kambosos into the ropes. And that's the thing, when Kambosos fought Teofimo Lopez, dropped him and all that stuff, he was on such a high and all that stuff. Whereas with Devin Haney, it's just different. Now he's the champion. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Oh, and look at Kambosos landing from the ropes, landing in between those shots. Devin Haney has to be careful. George Kambosos still going to the body, still landing straight rights like that. That could spell trouble. But now Devin Haney comes. Oh, and now Devin Haney slamming him into the ropes. Folks, I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than this. This is high drama, and it looks like it's going to come down to these final, probably the final five rounds. And George Kambosos did all that work early, but it's being erased by Devin Haney. And right now, George Kambosos, though, landing a lot to the body. Oh, and right now, Kambosos wobbled by Devin Haney. Look at that. Kambosos thought to be the puncher, and now you have Devin Haney wobbling him. Oh, he wobbles him again, folks. Oh, I'm telling you, if this keeps up, George Kambosos, tough guy, tough as nails. And he withstood the punches of Teofimo Lopez. Now he has Devin Haney in front of him. But it looks like Haney's taking over. And George Kambosos, while not out of the fight yet, he's got 5 rounds to figure out what he's going to do. Because Devin Haney has him badly hurt. And that cut, if that cut turns into a bloody nose, this bout could be stopped. But right now, Devin Haney winning this round 9-8-9. 10-8, I'm sorry, 10-9, 10-8, 10-9. So he's up by 3 points over George Kambosos as we see this. Folks, There's 5 more rounds left to go in this fight. And both fighters are coming out. They're putting it all on the line. George Kambosos does not want to be against the ropes like that. And Devin Haney having a great round. Him turning the tide in this fight. Oh, and look at George Kambosos now trying to kind of get back to where he was, and Devin Haney now fighting on the high. It's almost like the roles have switched, and now Kambosos is Teofimo, Haney is Kambosos, and this is the beauty of boxing, theater of the unexpected, all the things that we see, but there's still time for the drama to unfold. There's still time for Devin Haney to lock this up like he's doing right there with shots like that, but one cannot discount everything that George Kambosos is doing. It's just right now, Devin Haney finding his way, landing his shots, buoyed by the fact that he knows he's close now, knowing that he hurt Kambosos very badly in the last round, although Kambosos seems to have found a bit more sure footing here, certainly fighting better. But now he's wobbled and dropped. Just as I say that, Devin Haney setting a trap, and as Kambosos going to get up, he's taking a lot of punishment. He's taking a shellacking, and look at this. Oh, man, and it looks like, and he gets right up from the jaws of defeat. George Kambosos, is he going to find a way to do it? Is this going to somehow have a psychological effect on Devin Haney now? Will Haney think like, wait a minute, I wasn't able to keep him down, I landed my best shots, but now George Kambosos is up, he's taking a lot of shots, and Devin Haney seeming to have found the key. We will see, folks, but it looks like, as I predicted earlier, Devin Haney ultimately taking over this fight, and now George Kambosos has a bloody nose. The ref's going to take a close look that this fight could be stopped any second now. 10-8, 10-8, 10-8, all for Devin Haney. He has now completely turned the tide, and he is up by 9 points as we go into the 9th round. And Devin Haney just landing, throwing the kind of shots that he needs to throw, doing the kind of things that he needs to do, landing when he needs to land, and George Kambosos trying to get back in that rhythm, trying to land to Haney's body, trying to get Haney out of his rhythm, and Kambosos can do it, but he's taken a lot of punches. He's done a lot of good work that was erased, and he knows that. Can he do the good work again to get back to where he needs to be? We are about to find out, because right now it looks like Devin Haney, who has taken over this bout, is now going to put his stamp and his imprint on it. He would love nothing more than in Marvel Stadium in Melbourne to beat George Kambosos Jr. This serves notice to all the lightweights, to Ryan Garcia, to Josh Taylor, to Gervonta Davis, to everybody. Even whether they're in the division or not, if they're close, there's a new star in the division, and he's going to be hard to beat. And that star looks to be Devin Haney, but we'll see. George Kambosos has been through a lot. He's walked through fire, and he can do it again as long as he's able to sort of find his way against Devin Haney. But right now, he's just taking shots, and it looked, for all intents and purposes, like Devin Haney had knocked him out. Oh, and going to the body is Devin Haney. And George Kambosos right now, just punch output, very, very minimal. He's still able to land, but ones and twos aren't going to get him done. He needs to be doing threes and fours. He needs to be disrupting his rhythm, cracking into the body like he was so sharp earlier. George Kambosos has had that negated. Devin Haney figured that out, sort of let George Kambosos extend himself. And now Devin Haney he set the table, and Devin Haney's ready to eat. Sorry, I'm drinking. Oh! Dropped again is George Kambosos. He gets up, folks. I'm telling you, they've got to be taking a close look. George Kambosos is bloody. His nose is bleeding. I don't know how much longer they're going to let this go. Kambosos has to know this too. He has to know that he has to land on him. And right now, I mean, Devin Haney locking this up. 2 knockdowns. And George Kambosos, give him all the credit in the world. Folks, he's got 3 rounds to pull this out of the fire. I don't think it's going to happen. They're saying that Devin Haney's tired, but if he's so tired, why are his scores 10-7, 10-8, and 10-8? He has totally turned this around. He is now up by 16 points over George Kambosos Jr. Oh, and the ref stops the fight. Kambosos Jr. is having a hard time breathing. Devin Haney is now the unified lightweight title holder. Wow, that was, folks, that was a tremendous comeback from Devin Haney in this bout. The winner, Devin Haney by TKO. The fight lasted 10 rounds. Kambosos Jr. was knocked down 2 times and has a bloody nose. Haney was not knocked down. As you can see, the scores, and they were going far in the direction of Devin Haney. 86-82, 88-80, 88-84. Thank you so much for tuning in to Boxing Time TV. If you like what you've seen, please like, comment, and follow. Please share these links with your family and friends. We appreciate it. Give us a follow on Instagram, Boxing Time with Evan. And our motto here at Boxing Time TV is, why wait? Watch it now. Then watch the real thing when it airs and compare. We'll see you next time.